we have this 5th installment of the Greetings Reading Spring Series here at Unnameable Books on this rather glorious early evening. We've got a great lineup for tonight. We've got Bruce Andrews. We've got Gonzalez. Matt Proctor. Alexandra Neuman and her troupe of puppeteers. Yeah! Alright. Without further ado, Matt Proctor knows there's more than a red room at the end of the rainbow. Though undeniably a red room can be quite satisfying. Say perhaps on a pirate ship where the captain's cabin has been imported from Shanghai, bordered by black lacquer, or in Timbuktu where the mud-caked walls reveal a red dwelling of poetic and architectural grace par excellence. So how then to construct an identity not to be stolen by agents of the KGB? Or as they are now known, the Putanskies. Pitoo you too, Matt says as he gets out of his guitar fingers strumming a poem. I may be from the Midwest. Is that true, Matt?
Yes.
Where about?
Ohio.
Yes! Yeah. I may be from Ohio. I just cruised through there recently. But I'm anything but flat and one-dimensional. Right, Matt?
That's right.
Definitely. These dimes are varied and spin often without stopping. Not a wasted life, or wasted in life, but a following of the nose. Of the muse tickling that nose. So the sneeze brings out the poem, brings out a spray of words. Yeah, sometimes it's messy. That cover a distance like David Lynch driving that tractor, that actor. From state to see his cartographer who told the night watchman to say a prayer for the digression of your laughter as you lie in a hammock on Duffy Williams Farm in Brooklyn. Conjure up the archaic torso of who you thought you once would be, but then realize poetry was the lovely Alcatraz you were bound to. The dream. It was about you, and you. Mixed up with a man and a woman and a line that was lost as it unraveled, like the space shuttle breaking into pieces and all those astronauts turned into pale blue dots on the horizon of a love song, which was really your second life, as it began in a not-so-secret location on the Lower East Side, where the spies still meet to gossip about the poets who will someday rule the world. It's your audience. Matt Proctor!
Give it up for Jeffrey Joe Nelson, everybody. The best introduction in the business. I'm so honored to be here reading in such illustrious company. I'm going to read from my Cosmopolitan Micro Diaries. Some just recent selections. This first one is called May 3rd, Restraining Order. Ashley is a force to be reckoned with. This was all happening concurrently, festooned with confidence. Life expectancy collapsed in my family, sniffing glue, vaping, pounding Bud Light. Trivial moments slip off my face. We're in a race to be the hottest people we can possibly be. Long parkside stretch fucks up my penmanship. Sorry, I can't do Mondays. And the earth walks in, sitting on its ass, which is the oceans, center of the world until the millennium put laminated desert plates and theft-proof clamshell security displays. What would that look like exactly? Jason Alexander as George Costanza on CSI. This is what I know how to do. I see no reason to stop, but don't know how to operate the cash register. That's the worst idea since Greedo shooting first. I don't want to be here. Rooms to let in the low to mid 3-figure range. The pinata capitulated, ordering 2 soft tacos, 2 hard tacos. System Lord reconvenes next Friday in other important cultural news, giving white people a taste of their own medicine. Thionine, niacin, riboflavin, Panavision cinemascope, ensemble pieces, the angles of the purple doors of the hotel, blue aquarium butterscotch lamps, nerve pain shooting through my face, cat and heat, and the room smells like a hamster cage. Wasted last year of my life off stage, 2 corners of the mouth getting worse, doing major reconstructive surgery. If you want to become someone, you wear their clothes. Protects my ego, but hurts me in literally every other way. It's scary how much Ashley relates to 3 women. She's narrating analytically like a Sopranos commentator, spurning prime lenses like a TV director, mellowing out in old age. May 5th, Pret-a-Porter report. Failed a couple grades in poetry world and adult life. I guess you liked The Insider. Proctor curse. Am I next? I suck at manifesting. As an Aquarius, I go for the opposite of what I want, so as to never let anybody know what I'm really feeling. His Pythian apartment, which I mentioned previously, resembles his films and is made of them. Transparent planar interference ensembles graven in floor-to-ceiling tablets. Dames d'Avignon behind champagne curtain, naked as babies, which is the next shot, which is why I said it. Comme des Garçons having a smoke at the end of the film. It got panned upon original release back in 93 or 4. You like it because it's more about you. Brought cash but not an umbrella. Rainy spring kept me in my room. Here an untouched regal splendor. Prepositions like bridges to nowhere. We never should have moved, having not signed the lease at a moment's notice. Random person doing less. Woke to the cram of notes organized this way, that. You just want to have an important last time. Poetry flying through the air all around like soothing waves of gold petting my brain. Gallivanting chesswork, space fix. Do I do it all the time? Why are they cut like that? Camembert casino memorization game. The point of the game is to have 4 fingers down. Only the back team. Why I bought this in a Dwayne Reed on Broadway in Soho, Broom or Grand or something. I had just received a fat cash settlement for the Devil's Water, launching an air-sea raid on my treasure library. Now I use Red Half Cyclops me as a all storage unit warehouse data center, assuming Johnstown, Lawrence Taylor on crack in the Super Bowl and at WrestleMania. I fucked them all, let's face it, it's what I do. No, I didn't. Circling mental movies, front of a white Cadillac with the Russian or playing knockout on the banks of the Hawking, too busy looking back to move forwards, too realizing what was going on. I've always thought slow and reacted deeply. You can't put them again inside a nuzzled, bobbled, this whole thing, the softball fumble with Willie Phoenix that would go on to predict the course of my adult life. Makes it well worth driving up Route 33 to half-price books along the Scioto River near the Dollar movies. Writing poetry in Elizabeth Street Garden instead of having kids or going to work. Staff Zoom Narcan training might be good to know. My app idea is crazy, but it's gate-kept by Learning Curve. You want an in that's not weird. Good open mic lineup fanfare for the common acrostic background covert tennis out. Reciting immortal verse amongst the Stone Temple pilots as she made me the muse, permanent in her book. I want a copy to read as one thing, perfect bound as I go about my life in the world. She's holding on tight as she can to the party scene scored to peppers, walking through the smoky valley of Flower Child Hollywood, a magic stick they use to mesmerize and commands one's dancing. Are they emissaries reaching out of fear, or police action reining me in, no power to the series finale's solitary confinement chairs? There's a blind spot in the park. It's already a topping. Lotus outside, breakaway pog, skis backstage. I'm just putting it to heart, the rose of Minnesota and 200 zeros. I've never been spayed or neutered. Showers are bad for you. An autobiography and TikTok comments. Mrs. Macaulay gave me a writing residency in 2nd grade when everybody else was reading silently, laying around the huge stuffed animal polar bear in the corner, kicking the Undertaker in the face, DDT on the entrance ramp, gender bender, 2 count, reverse ass buster with the chair, pin, 1, 2, 3 for the win. 5'8", Balfour Declaration, United States plague bag. I'd take a bullet for anybody. It doesn't matter that I exist. Don't try to look cool. Snifters on the house based on scientific evidence. We're all going to hell in a handbasket. It's Neuman Marcus. Eagle vision, notice dirt under your fingernails. New haircut, what color your eyes are. Old shoes, shampoo, nappy dugout in my memories instead of having some. But it was cold outside, thinking I'd write a movie, but the business is dying according to wimps and failures. How can I turn this thing around? Big ship, hard to write. My parents sound good over the phone. I'll probably die first, dreaming on Caesar Vallejo at my oak desk in Columbus, Ohio. Haven't even thought of owning a desk in over a decade. Since I moved, nothing's been permanent. Even as I've stayed in one place like a vibration, bouncing faster and faster inside a tiny box. I want to clock out, go to Europe, see the world, read the United States, New York City and the time tunnel streets of yesteryear. I can never decide, invaded by suburbanization, corporate raiders, till we could never afford anything left. Forget about having kids. My kid is in a film festival, 4-year-old makeup tutorial influencer, Generation John Benet Ramsey. Not sure if I want to go to the Cuff Wolf reading, but I'm leaning no. Getting into a yellow cab with my Prada bag, shade suit, North Sky shiner when I got hit in the face with a pitch. Reacted slowly, not well liked by the guys in the locker room. Buildings became part of the sky. The flowers of humanity. That was referring to something else. There's no time to explain. Holding a grudge, the grudge holds me. The audience was puzzled, as usual, which creates a movement in them towards writing. 10 roofs of people just staring at the sky. 1/4 of my stamp recollection wasted by Sarah Jessica Parker's bodyguards. She was down. I ran away because I didn't want her to think I was paparazzo. Boycotting Cuthwolf out of emotional solidarity with myself. At 80 degrees in the street. Gardens of downtown, 10-minute countdown to my end of sleep. Editing myself internally. Reasons I said that. Rest in peace, Steve Albini, whose twin said I sounded like. Ethereum scenes in the shower, in the bathroom. Screaming your name into the gushing void of my orgasm fever spiral until I died. Okay, I just got a couple more here. This is called How to Be a Sonnet. May 14th, How to Be a Sonnet. Thank you for laughing, Jeffrey Joe Nelson. Appreciate it. Below the line worker, droguing the sailboat at night so I could sleep in my nest with my pillow and books. They bribe you with education and the things a normally, healthily functioning society would provide. I don't even know where to go to the doctor. The world is endlessly entertaining, viewed from afar. Do you have the apartment song? Late night country. You're listening to New York City's best in poetry. #1 leader in chicken pick and process Marblehead, highest grossing touring act 10 years in a row. We auctioned off the tickets on the free market of layaway. Sugar glass breakaway bottles, a combination of polymer plastic. Rude awakening circa 10 a.m. Fists beating on the door, shocking the ringing bell in a pissed off way. The landlord sleeps blissfully through. I awoke after only 5 hours sleep to watch phone TV all day. Climbing Kiwi Mountain. Nobody wants to hang out with me. Todd Colby excuses himself 6 years ago to go say hi to Jordan and I never see him again. He's friends with Justin Thoreau. What does he need me for? Mouthful of light. They'd never come and see me in this dive. I live in the past. It's easier. My bad. $513 Peniter Ferenz. I'm afraid our time here is up. Had roast duck, $46. It was aight. Steak frites, of course, juicy and better. That's Geets Romo and the Paul Mazursky flick. too rare to live. YouTube should legally restore all the videos they disappeared after being acquired by Google in 2008. Trying to live this way is going to get you killed. Taking Friday off, summer Fridays. I could have been another Schopenhauer instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's face it, on repeat, on skates. I'm not producing a path forward. A little bit of arithmetic, we even started early. I don't know what I'm saying. Pieces of something so profound. Then you die, forever leaned out the window. Okay, this will be my last piece. This is May 10th, Steve Albini, No Cap. For Steve Albini. A real one. Sexually frustrated in my career. I could no longer produce time. Your opinions are not revolutionary enough. We kill them in detail. Is my mental environment collapsing? The health of your legs is the health of your heart. Your longevity. Bowling Green commencement shill, not enough vignettes in the town square, which was a moving cabaret, the mall the white people used to go to. Jimmy Breslin announces by garage, sex, pizza slice, dead-end wharf, self-diagnosed, struck by lightning, double whammies, tin cup, Genesis golf, relying emotionally on Huggy 30 Rock, filling in the stories with clips from Man on the Moon. I don't care what his family said. The panoramic newspaper walked beautifully in the car home. I'll come with you. Like Rilke, I want my own death. Hitting Jerry Lawler in the face with a beer. Dinner went pretty well. Saying goodbye on the corner of Gay and Christopher. Didn't realize how much life I'd had. Mountain View, Marin, Berkeley's People's Park. Will I know these people a while in that they are on the earth? I've never been invited in. Cameron returns to Chicago. Ferris's wife flirting on West 11th. Then a police scanner jams my live stream, creating movement in my pivot hip. He wants me to send it to him when I'm done. What the hell am I going to read? Roger Miller didn't use a strap. He sat on a stool with the guitar on his knee. I keep hearing Gary Newman's Cars everywhere I go. What does it all mean? And I've got chat books and jeans if anybody wants. Or a commercial.
Steve probably would have hated that book, which means he probably would have loved it. Bruce Andrews. Who knows chops and poetic prowesses do not by themselves make a reading spectacular, as they must be joined by presence. Some refer to as personality, and others, the tree trunk. Still others say the tree limb. And then there are those who say, nay, it is the roots of the American tree that do the work, that set the pace, that keep the spirit flowing, that show us the way language co-ops the page and plays with space and distance and meaning. Oh, Euclid. Oh, poly-sci. Oh, polyphemus with your giant straining eye. That Bruce has broken into 1,000 optical receptacles where each one does see the word differently in relation to another. So listener, be prepared. Locus, ambulate, nodules, gradually, till America goes entropic. Now, that's not what language taken as an acronym spells, or does it? It's rather amazing Bruce's bibliography isn't on Wikipedia. Someone needs to source that one out. There's probably a grad student in New Jersey who needs a reason to get out of bed. Heck, they can write the bibliography from their bed. Just throw up some bricolage, word maps, and salt, and watch those slugs disappear. Bruce even anticipated the paperless revolution with his "I don't have any paper, so shut up." But really, when it comes to PDQ, Bruce has the X, Y, and Z all wrapped up. So let's give a hand to Bill O'Reilly's favorite poet. And this ain't just lip service. So get ready to get frightened all over again for the first time at Greetings, Bruce Andrews. Woo!
All right, thanks for that. I'm gonna be reading. All right.
we talk?
This go up.
Yes, we did.
That's good. That's good. Thank you. I just recently finished this ridiculously long book manuscript I've been working on for a couple of years now, called Zombies plus Clones plus Ready-Mades / Writing, Reading Vladimir Sorokin, which was an engagement with this transgressive Russian novelist that started a little bit after the war in Ukraine. So I'm going to read four of the 81 prose sections, which go from A to C. And then I'm going to conclude with a short performance text that I did live with Sally Silvers as a neo-benchy reading to the last 5 minutes, I think, of the film It's a Mad, 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 Mad World up in Hudson a year or so ago, which is in the first part of this book. All right, so this is CAAC. Hiya. Who do you think you are? Get all the risk, get all the neglect of mistakes of characterization. No, it is not a self, but self-resistance to any modeling of the solid, undependable self. Forever spin. Instead, be cool, even unimpressed by nightmare mystified conventions, proof of self-dealing people looking for the inside of a personal tunnel. Futurism. Tired of impersonating ourselves with this language emphasis, giving us the lack of confidence that everyone else is implicated in. The act, that kind of openness to change and the call of the tame strangers. See, told you. Progress is all in progress. Stuck emojis. Embodied intimations of who, what we could become, are becoming, on the brink of everything, living a second or third or fourth life, right dab in the middle of this one. Take this longing, unrequited and unanswerable asylum from modernity to be someone else's shame, dream, fraudo. A keen observer of manners and mores as a magnet for spies, very we phone, but couldn't find rules or patterns to imitate, either in talk or stubborn relationships versus some of its narcissistic softening and sentimentalization in all-night chit-chat. Maybe the intimate Chekhovian atmosphere. You are your own kind of anon, ! Making no promises for life not to escape us. Just enough time for some good photo ops of 10 things I hate about you. Look in the mirror, friend. People will talk and talk and talk about how to build each other, construct each other, administer each other, except less creepy, so I just want to celebrate. Anyone who wants to can shred it to complicate individuals. Just flaneuring, not. One moment of eye-rolling peak glossing over nobody else like the little thoughtless beta that you are. A cute signature of cynicism. Whenever you get a living doll in your life, it's not mine. A cute signature of cynicism whenever you get the doubling of ourselves to the infinite degree. A classic twits alterity blast-off. Isn't this just whataboutery? Emotional unavailability, the red flags, and how to deal? Why are you telling me this? Freely we have, give, ha, freely receive, etc. Broken English doesn't take pride in who you are. Mind unsplit open, no edge circle. Nice. No distinct lives, no shared future indignation. Don't be so desentimental. Full of it. Tired of scrolling? Who snitched? Place your bets on one who snitches. Going anti-low to pop off about means, motive, and opportunity for conversations with people no one could see. Are you kidding me? All as if spoken by a bunch of characters in some short story, both sides saying everyday stuff from the Anthropocene, and everything sucks. The comforting vibes of nostalgia for a world that never existed can never be satisfied. I did not have this on my bingo card. No chance for closure. Everything just said better left unsaid, but don't delete yourself. You know nothing about me. Let me remind you of what you were saying, since you weren't listening and never mentioned anything to me. We just want equal nights. The second of these is CACA. You can't just do it. Keep on smiling. Whatever your feelings or lack of feelings about capacity for lesbian performativity, frightened by the self-regarding follies, don't you fucking dare crawl right into her heart. Beast of burden, don't worry about me. Growing old is a private crime, and ruthlessness comes in the form of I don't care. But is being part of a staging of a suicide a crime? Even armchair psychoanalysis of smoker-faced surrogate otherness urinating my bell. The deep fake porn epidemic we're living through overturns the willpower. There's a married man, the put-upon Russian everyman who can execute superhuman feats without laughing at me in a senseless act of vanity. Nobody is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. Don't sell yourself short and take it out on me, preferring joy to melancholy male masochism. Shame on me. Rock and roll is made by lonely humans for lonely humans who lack the capacity for self-deprecating humor to stop melancholia from letting male desire take precedence over our own. Carefree times is what cements a pedo deterrent. Flow my tears, everybody dance. Cheap date. Girls only. This made me smile. Snappy dialogue and bitter man, self-pitying cliches with something of the raw macho of the revived ancient cultures. Look at all these lovable goofballs, these mobsters of your heart. Don't get cocky until character matters are just a way for us to stick our thumb out at other people to fake your own kidnapping. Try to keep it in control and don't let it control me. Don't destroy my confidence because we don't have any. Babies have to watch your backs if love will not get us miscast down Sappho's bunt. Because in our version of the past, we were always innocent of enacting a certain brand of feminist reception. Infatuation fuels X, that career of courting self-destruction, emotionally invested as if a sperm donor is the only way, however drilled into your volunteerism. We became someones we don't even like. Seemingly guileless charm in dance therapy, and I don't want to waste the opportunity for suicide absolution. Could you at least scoot down on that conceited Hollywood heartbeat if you weren't trying to frighten yourself with a newfound masculinity and self-pleasure for population control? I want them. I need them. It's the same for me. If who don't like leftovers when it comes to unhappiness, little peeves, I'm afraid, that melt on contact like snow psyche. Dancify that. Self-improvement culture of self-reproach, complexity, and the global war over sex with various psychological makeups. What happened to you? Fear of imprisonment for the right to be a jerk? Or just a gigolo who also naturally kills himself? The line between love and hate is grossly irresponsible. If their parents think they should have low expectations and lost all of their self-esteem along the way, sort of tart it out for the whiny man-child. Embrace your night. Just be happy while you're not. You certifiable. Prone to brooding, say, "Wah-ha-ha, dude, you got owned. Let me be your teddy bear." Rage, love, anger, heartbreak, and the wah-wah-tusi. Tango into the scene, tango out. Fear plus freedom, pleasure plus guilt, some throwaway play by parallel monogamists to wrench her life back. Love ya versus obedience. You'll need surgery. That's the third of these. CBAA. Choice. The story is innocent enough. What's the population? 2. 2. A romantic anti-hero in teeny-weeny self-taxidermy. We're gonna chill these motherfuckers out. Why didn't you just do what you were told? Just get it done and leave me alone to my lifestyle. The doers, the people that do it, are milquetoast, not Alexander Nevsky's Battle on Ice. knee-jerk self-negativism to find myself in the me decade. I need to actually start being more aggressive to optimize all of your death choices. Self-denigration equals that death of the author formalism. Silly me. Tomorrow belongs to not me. To vent to needle genderless devils unsexing yourself. It's who you really are. A super bad feeling to protect us from what we want would be a suicidal mother living in your head. Kick up less of a fuss. No ordinary life hits them right in their ego with happiness so near. Cool girl is game. A nerd prom with boat-like motifs potentially suggesting an individual traversing the hectic course of life. Bossy and broody, cheerful self-parody, storm over identity with some immature infatuation. Absolutely, totally me too. Works the slugs. Bracket, I ain't. Closed bracket. Anxiety of pluck, so I'm ego destroyed, gang of one. Nothing scarier than teenage girls and little bunker baby is scared saying Tyrone shoelaces. And an awful lot of banal dialogue or the lullaby witches sing when their babies won't nap. Bad boy, good boy. Elephant ego, who he really is, though nothing overtly concerns your own autobiography or erotic particulars. I am strong. They're often self-centered, sexualizing self-hatred with self-sacrificing demands of an exercise in self-punishment. Catch yourself on. I'm your late-night evening prostitute. I'm alone. It's blissfully better to conquer yourself. There's no I in self-esteem. If you can see me, weep. Super sad generation of self-fashioning. I am dynamite. Headlong narcissism forever undecided in the quiet fallout of personalized history who found your inner power with a little less self-control. Is you is or is you ain't. First name sells ass. Without me, they married me. The me, the overtly personal character smearing fun is for suckers. Line up at the all-or-nothing self-serving buffet as a nobody homicide. Axes Batgirl as egocentric causal network, heavy on the self-protective self-love. Luckiest girl alive, who likes to challenge convention, but mostly who likes to challenge who self. Had X involuntarily committed to live like you're dead. I'm not everybody else. Everything is mine. Low self-esteem, low self-opinion. This confident air is a mask we wear to make sex so abstract. This is CBAC. Can you be better than you are? You'll have to do better than that. Are you, am I? Who am I this time? No selves, only selfies. Unsexy, unpopular, cranky old dude who's led a pitiful, meaningless life. No more trouble out of me, losing you to some amoral anti-hero, a future problem for future me. What's a woman to do? Half-concealed sense of humor as self-contempt. No, I am not listening to that POS construction of subjectivity misgivings or anti-severance as self-deception satirizing that self-regard levity to have made it difficult self-care choices. If you fail, no one will ever let you forget it. Nurse misbehaving. Aren't you glad you've got a hot bitch, baby? Fuck-ups. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Choosing happiness and shank it to come. Go to bed. Try, baby. As simple people living ordinary lives, familial of one another. Sexist and gendered with smiles, winks, and teasing, but with not much psychological complexity. And gentlemen, please put the lid down. Rocket us beyond the bounds of identity. I mean, there's boundary and then there's binding and binderly. Mom, instead, casts her long, intimidating shadow over us to play catch, to abandon each other to blown-up swimming pools. Feelings hide inside the psychos of I knew you when. A particular person in a particular circumstance, space, and time using the same maladaptive manipulations that narcissistically disordered individuals use. Pronouns for having trouble, forever at the point of their own throat. Does it get easier? Easy on your own? Well, aggressiveness is a form of suicide. Baby, 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 nosotros. You're totally busted weaponizing that persona dangerously in dislike. To learn how to make mistakes on purpose. Femme fatale, leaving convent of pleasure. You feel good in this anxiety emporium. Right back at you. Get a grip. It's malignant narcissism talking about non-monogamy. You're the clown, bro. Loving her once is once too much. Has got a personality on them, huh? Nervy self-celebration feelings that leave the self-serving pearl-clutching intact. Marriage equals zippers broken. Careful of me. Stole me into your wickedly funny life. Whatever most hated girls you wanted to be. Desire versus pleasure. Maybe desire is less fully formed and subject-based, but pleasure may be. So is it too timid, reassuring? So you could find a champion within yourself in order to refashion your sense of everything that can burn is now on fire. Live, laugh, love. And as for the nitty-gritty work of two-timer hunger, sick, from girlish coyness, lying to yourself much makes a little fun of emotion, courage overrated, hot stuff, and personally reassuring. Not macho, but a little miffed by myths of roguish trash punk individualism, a type of self-actualization claiming desire brings out your true self. Stick with it. Fear of self-betrayal and insouciance, drunk with power, staged to look like suicide, scared of losing what hurt feelings we got in a world of treadmill incompetence directing your own biopic. Let's punish excellence. Too madcap to write your addiction memoir. Women don't owe you pretty. So repeatedly return to images of homewrecking. Also, splendidly raucous matchmaking family swap. This guy is totally a douche nozzle. Agency and threat, agency and violence. Song forms: galopa, waltz, guaracha, paseo, danza, pasodoble, fuga, zambaracha, canción, seis corral, vals criollo, joropo. And finally, this performance piece, which was actually, I think, now edited live in performance with Sally Silvers, who came out with insane props, including a giant ladder, which she was moving out by crawling at the bottom of it. This is called A Lifetime of Enthusiasms. Spoiler: intellectual treasure hunt. Night spins, invites slow looking. Gizmo head snapping in a bubble. Can't think of a pink elephant. Nonsensical big nothing theory. Mugged by reality. I love captions on the vaporetti of cinematic time loops. Never understand it, that's why you remember it. Dreamer's big mistake goes viral. Lopsided spin off from this presumptive vantage point in soft landing scenario. Optimists to the end. Special recap. Our middle name is Verse. This is effing crazy. Smell desperation of everything for everybody, surreptitiously illegal kooky quantum leap. Staccatoed the X. Name drop, world gone mad. Exhibit A, whole. Meta theory is hiring. Emphasis on if. Writing into the future. Whiplashy. Plot device. We stand for anything. Bracket. Consequences. Closed bracket. Follow orders. They seem far-fetched. Enough, maybe, enough, as if it's a phantom limb. Teeny error, straight misdirection, joins the wish list. We are one another's problem. Abandoned ship. Money is all pretend. 360-degree photography. Wanted dead or alive going to extremicize. Go, gadget. Lemmings, the video game. Thigh spacer or butt spacer. Declare war on gravity. Pleasure equals pleasure. Oops. Fox chews off its own trapped foot. If this happens, if that happens, a whirlpool stress test. Hello, goodbye, and everything in between. Your own discombobulated non-self and transformed into an intimate gathering space. It don't worry me. You are my boarding pass. Just swinging when it counts. Yee. Maybe I forgot to push go. There woulda, shoulda, creature tempo, bent in bed. Just like that, bingo. Peek, touch, rub. Doesn't jiggle. Parachuted in heart failure brand. Used pillowcases to catch the air. And broad jumps to get a vasectomy. To decapitate or insolventolate. Kicky, slap. Nobody gets buttered. Wobbly whipsaw moves on one leg. Movement makes lubrication. Prefer finger flip. Iffy knee jerk. Turn back time. Attach jumper cables to your nipples. Just the word blowhole is a poem by itself. All hell is going to break loose. Crash the party as self-assassination. Instead of drooping down into old age, the miniatures zip it. It's finger-licking gone. Noise, inaudible, noise. Cherry bomb, real bad. Looks so busted. Romper room, ooze it or lose it. Like the cats bringing in the dead mouse. It's always somebody else's fault. Id control that went for the throat. Hashtag. Strap in. Hopes that help. Your big catchphrase. Unanimity. Break the noose, and you are my collateral. Could've doesn't count. Casting some Pollyanna pinheads. Santa Clausification. Why can't it be like it is on television? Who were the pawns? Who were the knights and rooks? Who were the bishops and queens? Dumb Quixote. Sure thing. You always need backup. So much fun. SYLF. Statues you'd like to fuck. You cannot throw yourself a surprise party. Houdini of cash now, stand back, stand by. Don't have to worry about you, but like to worry about you. The closer they get to bodily harm, the more intriguing the music soundtrack gets. Quote, surrender posture. Smash and grab. Even the GPS tracker on your butt is enjoying itself. Smackdown, shake your money maker for Tinkerbell. Wackadoodle, lit diffuse, or punch me with a Judy bat. Takes us back, way back. Last whiz, bang, hurrah, let it happen. Dancing with a cutout, the so far scorecard on the installment plan. Let me show you. The future has no index. Scene queen, and against rhymes with everybody. No control. Best night ever party. Quote, you made this world, we didn't. Unquote. Thank you.
Bruce, what was the name of that last poem?
Lifetime of Enthusiasm.
Yes. Alexandra Neuman takes the up out of puppet and blows it up to giant size finger proportion. No need then for a new man or a new woman, but a new human done all up in paper mache, or maybe boards, or cards, or streamers, or egg cards, or poems chopped up and reconstructed into puppet poems that move with the force of thoughts, thinking, lightning, or laughter, or laying it all out, unlike John Malkovich, who decidedly keeps much of it in his own head. Not an issue for Alexandra. Not an issue at all. Though Alexandra often keeps her head floating just above the foreground in the near left corner, it looks great there and you can almost touch it, but then you remember this is a video installation of her work and it is pretty dang mesmerizing. This planet about to collide with us. The collective unconsciousness of everyone we've ever known, spilling out of us like children from a womb. Is that what these poems are? Children leaving our womb, brain, body? Then who is the muse? The surrogate? Or do we just say collage is divination? Cocteau is correct. Or is it the art of the 20th century, but what about the art of the 21st century? Is it scary to go to Full Moon Park and not become a poetry werewolf? Or should one stay at home and slowly become the king of the bug, the machine, the day? And what would that mean? If that hole is way deeper than the solos, if the soul needs a tampon every now and then to observe the excess excrescences our modern living demands upon us. Dear audience, please ready yourselves to witness a dialogue between the muse and some really, really big puppets. Let's welcome Alexandra Neuman and her troupe. Is there a name for the troupe?
We just have a play, so.
Yes, play.
With the names here.
We have to set some stuff up, y'all. So
It'll be a second.
go get a drink or something.
But if you would like to collectively scoot your chairs back a couple of inches.
Yes.
All together. That would be so awesome.
I think it's
Yeah, I think I've reached the limit. See you, Henry.
Are we allowed to move some of these pieces? That would be awesome.
the amplifier out of the way.
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
Comparing it to some other strapping wires. You're not going to use this space.
No, it would just be one.
And the this amplifier out of the way too, right?
That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Is there anyone who will trip on these cables? They're replaced. You need one to turn down?
That would be great. Oh, that's Stacy made. Thank you so much. Sorry. Thank you.
Sure can. Can I do anything?
We're just setting up some sci-fi instruments, a little tuning.
You know, like a drum.
At one point.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoop it. One second, everybody. Thank you so much.
Sorry. So, hi everyone. Thanks for your patience and thanks for being here. My name is Alexandra Neuman, and I'm the writer of this play that we're all about to perform, and it's called The Collective Womb. So, this play takes place in a matriarchal world, and it's the creation story of that world. So every religion, every culture has its own mythology of how the world came into existence, or how people were first made. So this is the creation story of that matriarchal society. What we're showing you tonight is a stage reading, so it's not the full production. It's still in gestation, it's still forming. But hopefully through your witnessing, we'll be able to push it out till the final, the finished production, which will be on June 20th. So I handed out a flyer, and the June 20th one is the summer solstice, so it'll be a very festive and mystical night in a garden outside with the finished play. And just keep in your imagination that the stage in the actual production will be a giant mound of dirt. So just keep that in your mind. Anything with that?
Hey performers, be loud, beat that plane, you got it.
And I'm going to be reading the stage directions, so I'm kind of like the narrator. Okay. All set? That's right. So we're starting with Act 1, which is called The Pleasure Matrix. We are in the barren, muddy landscape of a prehistoric sentient Earth. We see a giant empty mound of dirt. A mud person is buried in the center of the mound. Now, if the audience could please help me gather energy by repeating the following phrase until 3 snakes are summoned onto the stage. Our bodies emerged out of wombs that 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 emerged out of
before time, the earth was a ball of mud, with ancient serpents and silken worms to circulate its blood.
Who shall be my witness? Who shall taste my virgin oils?
Thus the sentient earth formed a person from the soils.
Ah,
Bra,
ka, da,
bra,
ah, bra,
ka,
da, bra,
ah,
bra, ka.
da.
The cold-blooded serpent sought mud person's heat.
Which sorts of liquids might this new life form secrete?
Serpents weave their bodies underneath, around, and over mud person's arched figure. rubbing up against their limbs to create a tension field.
With utmost pleasure from the serpent's excessive affection, mud person's vulva leaped an ocean to reflect the sky's perfection.
Serpent sprays a hidden water source upwards from between mud person's legs and moistens the stage.
An orgiastic uproar attracts the splendor of the moon, who pulls the inner waters, urging worshippers to swoon.
To the juvenile mud person, I grant the gift of menstruation.
Moon spills a thick red liquid from a tube onto mud person's arched pelvis. Mud person's pelvis sinks back down to the ground.
And mud person's ovaries began a rhythmic pulsation.
Serpents gather around mud person's body and lap up the red liquid with their tongues.
The wild creatures drank from this nourishing red nectar, and the stars ordained crocodile as mud person's protector.
And mud person's frequency resounded through the earth, for their womb became a confluence of death and rebirth.
Serpents and mud persons sleep. End of scene. Act 2. The primordial abortion. Serpents and mud person are sleeping in a pile on top of one another, slowly awakening. Sun enters, orbiting the stage.
The sun beheld these earthen pleasures, and thought himself disdained.
Moon's tryst with wild creatures leaves our purest heavens profaned.
Sun's eyes emit 2 light beams towards mud person's pelvis.
With revenge, he beamed 2 solar rays straight into mud person's womb, and a sudden impregnation burdened mud person with gloom.
Serpents pack dirt onto mud person's belly to simulate pregnancy. Mud person beholds their belly and screams.
Mud person's red nectar could no longer flow to feed their friends. The once plenteous ancient serpents dried up to meet their fateful ends. For mud person's fertile womb had once sustained their whole ecology, until the wrathful sun's attempt to overwrite the mud mythology.
Serpents slowly convulse, dry up, and roll to the bottom edges of the dirt mound. Mud person struggles to move, but is weighed down by pregnancy and eventually gives up. After the slow death of the serpents, Moon enters the stage, followed by 2 star people.
The moon shined over mud person to soften their looming dread, and spilled milk into their throat, causing their uterine lining to shed.
Moon hovers over mud person, opens mud person's lips, and spills milk from her mouth into their mouth.
The stars whispered a prophecy into mud person's wrinkled ear.
If you abort your solar fetus, your life force will persevere.
Mud person gains strength with the prophecy and simulates swimming on their back.
Mud person swam to the center of a bubbling turquoise lake, whilst their sacred sexual organs began to twist and ache. A bolt of lightning struck their navel, causing ripples of contortion, and this moment became known as the primordial abortion.
Star people run back to mud person carrying a lightning rod and strike mud person in the navel. End of scene. collective womb. Mud person is laying in the center of the mound. Serpents begin coming back to life at the edge of the mound.
Mud person awoke on the water's glittering edge, with relief and recognition that the stars fulfilled their pledge. An iridescent membrane slid out from between their thighs, an amphibious sac-like form resembling testicles or eyes.
Serpents remove the iridescent material from between mud person's legs and begin to spread it around the mound in hoop-like formation. Mud person sits up with knees bent and legs open, their hands wrapped around the insides of their thighs.
The fetus began to spread itself in every cardinal direction, through subterranean pathways inciting cellular connections. And nourished by a dewy spring of rainbow-laden showers, the fetus caused the sprouting of the earth's first trees and flowers.
Mud person's heart exploded into thousands of human seeds. Their hair adorned the planet's surface as playful, wriggling weeds. They gave themselves over to the embodied pleasure of creation, stimulating fractal structures with their bestial vocalizations.
The stars approached Mud Person, blinding them with light.
The fertilization of new worlds is your sacred birthright. Your collective earthen womb has opened a great portal, and the wheel of life, death, life is what makes you immortal.
Star people lay mud person down, and serpents begin to cover mud person with dirt until they are completely buried. Serpents slither away, and star people walk off stage. And mud person sinks deep, deep, deep down into Earth's molten center. The seeds of their exploded hearts sprouted into the first generation of human beings, our earliest ancestors, keepers of the womb planet. End of play.
Woo! Yeah.
Bravo!
Woo!
Bravo! All right. Let's hear it for all the players.
Yeah.
Should we leave this light up just for the sake of ease?
Yeah, it's okay.
That's fine.
Let's do it. Let's leave the lights up.
It's too bright. You turn it off.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
My phone and her phone both ran out of memory halfway through, so maybe she could contact you.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. The quality's not the best.
My phone sucks, so it's fine.
Okay, sweet.
Cool. That'd be awesome. You're hanging around for a minute, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
If you just give me your info or whatever.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can...
Totally. You can wait till the end. If
Okay,
you-
cool.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Sick.
Gia Gonzalez. Knows sometimes a C looks like a G. Very late at night. Though an S and a Z are a whole other realm of possibility. A gap in the starscape of New York City where Gia was raised and born. Writing to explore the varied worlds, this multicultural grab bag of concrete waterway islands this city has to perpetually offer. Where one can take the night boat for quite a ride through quiet pre-dawn streets or watch a star explode off Broadway. As the surface-to-air emergence factor plays itself out over short, clipped lines expanding inside the consciousness, once the voice raises the dust of words to make them new again. How sleaze can be rendered graceful, and how grace can become super slick, and how each world we are from merges into another to form a being quite unlike the one we once knew as we continually become the one becoming. As if our writing, we are able to change the gravitational force of the universe and draw the poem to us as magnet as sniffer of salt to find the sea. So Gia remembers the butch, the naive, and the mousy, takes the island out of the blonde and the fear out of the color green, has been known to look up how many had been made to order, but takes a decidedly different tack with her own poems. Not just normal pronunciations, but sometimes, yes, spectacle, filigree. Broaching the distance between the poet and the reader, Gia's poems do, in the charged air, erudite and sonic, gradually as epiphanies become clear, whereby the anchor floats as a lamp pyre, lighting up the night, setting the boats free. Dear audience, Gia Gonzalez! Woo!
Hi, glad to be here. That last performance was so fantastic. It makes me wish I dressed up or something. Yeah, and I don't know, just really, thanks so much to Jeffrey and Penny. I was really pleased and excited and honored to see who the other readers are. So it's been really a great night for me sitting in the poetry right back there. So I've been working on a self-titled poem, and ideally it's going to be a long poem, but it's long-ish right now. I don't know how long it'll get, but I don't know. I'll just go for it, I guess. It's hard not to be Gia, a self primed for astringency or sweetness. No, Gia is not the locus of production. She is that aforementioned sweetness. Gia Gonzalez is a poisoner based in New York City where she was born, but I think she is just a girl in a fallacy of good fortune. Who was she, the muff eater, in her camel coat and her caramel skin and her raven black hair and superfluous ring? I saw Gia belligerent with drink and I pitied her. She was at her best a talent of reciprocity, and syntax was her corsage. My name is Gia, but Gia is a kind of misnomer. She was just a girl who wrote, "It's hard not to be Gia, a self-primed for astringency or sweetness." Gia cups my cock in one hand softly. She comes to mortify me in plain garters. My appendage is her derision. Her derision is my spleen of love. Beneath my hand is Gia's cunt. She's with me now. I observe her wan smile. I would grab her foot to suck lavishly. I would double the size of our bush, and Gia would seek my asshole with her tongue, pointed sometimes probing, or flatly lapping as I ride, for she loved to be in that place, huffing me. My elastic waistband bears her name. Let's see. Yes, imprinted on the backs of Gia's eyes were little green crosshatches of fabric hanging ethnically on Gia's bedroom wall, and a hall of linoleum with inset fluorescent lights is that place to which she cannot return. She dreamt she wrote in a script so cryptic and loping, moving like time does when she fucks. It's what happens between the dishes that is her marauding, a volumizing lash product in her hair pattern. I could be that pasture of forms and delusions in which Gia ran freely, doggish for my love. Couched in the fortnight of her dank swoon, what I yearned for was her coinage, that glittering tender, she who'd grease my palm with it, the ching-ching of life's big grandiosity. Feverish, I practiced my language making, pleasantries mastered in quick reflex, for syntax was Gia's pompadour. Varietals of serial giddy Gia through one long blur of present moment stretching into now, and so on this day do I pledge to be her Gia, a pattern of patterns like a box of Triscuits. Belief in oneself is that delusion, enabling the continuation of oneself, and so, etc. And so a feeling of disregard overtook me, the way a wafting scent of tulips, roses, might. Having appropriated my manner, Gia is a squatter in my day. My first exercise would be writing my as her. I practiced her poem. The pronoun made Gia mechanical, her innuendo standard a mangy ambivalence. She had only the appearance of dalliance. Writing is life characterized as repartee. She could have been that beauty of the passive voice. There are other kinds of fulfillments, becoming a best-dressed, injurious type prone to accidents of poor behavior. Her charm was ballasted to the United States, and there, glittering, she renounced place, language, as an outre dream. Her long-standing participation in the country was a groveling, limbed-in cheer, as if life could have a sheeny glamour to it, dressing tightly and wrapping oneself up for the day. Mornings beginning with examining and attempting to subdue the appearance of one's nipples, their shape and form, presenting delicately now in baby rib fabric. This is like the difficulty about writing about her life, its tedium which did renounce narrative from this close vantage point, and the fear that her writing would become occasional. So Gia makes a little advance dating to respond to an email, obscuring nether regions of feeling. Gagging into another's French roses. The explicative mode had begun to bore me, pressing lettered buttons until the story of Gia Gonzalez appears on the page. My brain was a crevice, and I wanted Gia to fill it, but Gia was never entering someone like me. If I could slip off her shoe and fling it desperately toward that unknowable horizon constituting the location of Gia at the end of this book. I approach her corpus. Her visage dissolves into a topic of personal interest. My scribe refused parody rehearsal of her old voice. Memory promises a reserve of something fearful left in me, images gossiping across frame of mind, bits of chismis tied through the family on decorative strings, a tita in large furs. We liked the continuation of the family, those creeds, the formulaic prayers, arbitration around career trajectories. Dresses of batik or cabbagey roses, Gia becomes that partaking of familial patterns. Stepping foot past the door frame of her own building, she incites the interminable back and forth of silent discourse. One isn't anything that hasn't already been ascertained from sleek black hair and manner of dress. Gia, she of admiring pretenses and assimilations, now owned something, and was lowering herself slowly around my debt, which was pink, and I, usurer's antonym, came downward against the scrim of my attempted language. Her disrobing was movement of a lesser magnitude, a severe, soft language tied up in little bows characterized by listlessness. Now a dream sequence punctuates the logic of my narrative rhythms. Thank you.
Alexandra, Neuman, and players. And that Proctor. All right. Thank you all for being here. It wouldn't be possible without you wonderful audience. We will be back in 2 weeks' time on May 30th with Ben Gancher, Stacy Skolnick, Alan Felsenthal, and Philip Marinovich, backed by the Mag Wheels. Hope to see some of you there. Thank you all. Have a great night.
Sorry.
What?
You are my muse, and I am